I really like Gen 7. I personally think it is a top 3 generation. For that reason, I wanted to see if I could find any niche Pokemon in this generation. I looked in so deep. In fact, I was able to find Minior. In this video, I am going to be trying to make a team with the core as Minior and climbing ladder. Firstly, Minior. A cool fact is that Minior only has 3 cards, one in Celestial Storm and the other in Paradox Rift. Despite having one of the most garbage stat spreads for a no-evolution Pokemon, it still has one decent use in Shell Smash. Shell Smash is a setup move where the user gets a drop in both defense stats in exchange for getting a sharp increase in both offensive and their speed stats. This is pretty strong in itself, but it can get even stronger. Most Shell Smash sets run a white herb to get rid of the defense drop. We're going to do the same here, but also run acrobatics in its moveset to get us a 110, stab boosted, 2 times boosted flying physical move. Rounding it out, I'll also add Rock Slide for stab and flinch fishing, and protect so we don't lose Minior off rip. I also gave it a defensive Terra and Steel so all of its weaknesses become either resistances or neutral. Quick rundown on Minior's ability. It has a signature ability in Shields Down where, as long as it's above 50% HP, keeps it slow, bulky, and immune to status conditions. After it drops below 50%, it enters its core form, giving it a way higher speed stat and swapping its offensive stats with its defensive ones. Don't let this fool you though. Minior is fragile as fuck. It will go down to any setup or naturally strong move. Next, I wanted a speed control Mon so Minior could outspeed threats. So I decided to use a restricted slot for Tornadus. This set is a bit typical, running Tailwind, Bleak Wind Storm, Protect, and Taunt. I gave it Terra Ground so electric moves don't shoot it down. Again, nothing too fancy. Next, I wanted a way to not only cover a few of Minior's weaknesses, but also keep it alive for even longer. Something that could redirect, maybe heal Minior, maybe be Grass and Ghost, maybe be extremely brain dead. I put Strength Sap on it to cut damage from Mons that could hit Minior pretty hard like Urshifu and Physical Archaludon. I gave it Rage Powder and Matcha Gotcha for redirection and chip, then ended it off with Shadow Ball for leashing Calyrex shadows. Now we have one of my favorite new gen Pokemon, Meowscarada. I've been using this set in Champions and needless to say, it's pretty damn strong. It's a Choice Scarf Meowscarada running knockoff U-turn Flower Trick and Triple Axle. Even though it's fast, a huge threat to Meowscarada is a Fire-type attacker in or out of Tailwind. Assuming we can take one resisted hit, I gave it the Terra type of water. Now I added Meowstick. To be honest, when making this team, I thought it would be a bit of a secret weapon. Quick heads up for the die-hard Meowstick fans, this little shit didn't get a single second of screen time, so I'll leave it set on the screen and move on. On the other side of the coin, we have an MVP of this team, Hippowdon. I decided to run it for the boost to Minior's defense if lead alongside it. I ran a Rocky Helmet knowing it can take hits, then gave it Helping Hand and Yawn to further give it more synergy with Minior. I gave it Earthquake for stab, chip, and protect so it can continue being an asset on the field. People don't really respect the Cosmic Pebble, so today we're gonna make his name known.
por fi compadres.